عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل يا أهل الكتاب لم تكفرون بآيات الله والله شهيد على ما تعملون قل يا أهل الكتاب لم تصدون عن سبيل الله من آمن تبغونها عوجا وأنتم شهداء وما الله بغافل عما تعملون يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تطيعوا فريقا من الذين أوتوا الكتاب يردوكم بعد إيمانكم كافرين وكيف تكفرون وأنتم تتلى عليكم آيات الله وفيكم رسوله ومن يعتصم بالله فقد هدي إلى صراط مستقيم صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al Imran. Today we are inshallah going to cross the half mark. 200 ayat total. Inshallah we're going to do ayah 101 tonight. So the general discussion has been about how Muslims should deal with the people of the book in this surah. In between, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the discussion about the virtues and the history of Khana Kaaba. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is returning to the topic, and here this ayah, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لِمَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ شَهِيدٌ عَلَى مَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say, O people of the book, لِمَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ, why do you reject the verses of Allah while Allah, وَاللَّهُ شَهِيدٌ عَلَى مَا تَعْمَلُونَ, while Allah is witness to what you do. So this refers to a particular historic background. When the Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, and most of the people who were there, a majority accepted Islam, very few people remained who were Jewish, and they were restricted to certain parts of the city. So the Muslim community constituted of Muhajirin, who had migrated from Makkah, and Ansar, who were the locals of Yathrib, which is now named Medina. Among the Ansar, there was two tribes, Aus and Khizraj, and these tribes did remain even after bringing Islam. Of course, whoever belonged to whatever tribe, they did belong to that tribe. But when the Prophet ﷺ, they brought faith in the Prophet ﷺ and they became Muslims, they became closer than brothers, and they became very good neighbors to each other, and they were like brothers to each other. Before they had brought Islam, they had a lot of fighting going on between these two tribes, Aus and Khazraj. Their fights are historic and they are well known, and they kept on going for many years. So after bringing Islam, they became united like one. The Jewish people, whenever they would see these two tribes who were always fighting develop such a great unity among themselves, they were always very jealous. And this one particular instance, this Yahudi Jewish person, his name was Shimas bin Qais. He saw in the majlis of the Prophet ﷺ the Aus and Khizraj sitting admixed together with each other like brothers. So he got very jealous. He could not stay at peace looking at this. And he thought of a way, how could I create a rift between these two tribes again? And the way he thought of was that he, at one point, finding an opening, he or one of his friends, his companions, his helpful people, they recited some poetry from the days of ignorance, from the days of before Islam, which was an inciting kind of poetry. One tribe had said proud things about their own selves and some nefarious things about the other tribe. So they recited that kind of poetry. Listening to that poetry, these two tribes, although they were both Muslims and they were Sahaba, their old feelings came back a little, and they started to argue with each other. So much so that that argument went to a point of a fight. The Prophet ﷺ, when he got the news of this, he immediately went to them and uh, instructed them to stop fighting and reminded them that they are now Muslims. They have brought faith in one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they bring faith and follow one Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How could they ever return back to those that kind of fighting of the days of ignorance? So then they immediately, as if they woke again and stopped fighting and became peaceful Muslim brothers again. Anyway, at different points in history, we do find out that these kind of things kept on happening here and there a little bit. Anyway, so we should keep in mind, why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning all of this? What is the point for us in here is that we should keep in mind that this is the method of people who want to create rift and differences among Muslims, that they will, this is one very strong thing that they have, that they use often, is to take us back to our roots in terms of our families, in terms of our nationalities, in terms of us being from different geographic backgrounds or cultural backgrounds. We as Muslims are one, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is laying down the foundations of the unity of Muslims in the forthcoming ayahs. And this was what was told to them by the Prophet ﷺ. But first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reprimanded the kuffar or the Ahlul Kitab. The Prophet ﷺ is asked to tell them very clearly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness to what you are doing. So don't think that what you are doing in secrecy, what you are planning against Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on our side, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness to what you are doing. And of course, this was also part of treaty, that when the Prophet ﷺ had come to Medina, the Jews, the condition on which they were allowed to stay in Medina was that they will not do these kind of things which they were habitual of. They will not create fitna or fasad, and they will not go against the command of the Prophet ﷺ. These were the terms that they had agreed to. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling here that tell them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you are doing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fully has the full authority to let the Prophet ﷺ know about it as well. And then things will become very difficult for you. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لِمَ تَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ مَنْ آمَنَ تَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا وَأَنْتُمْ شُهَدَاءُ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Say, O people of the book, why do you hinder the believers from the way of Allah, trying to create crookedness in it, while you yourselves are witnesses to it being the right way? وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah is not oblivious of what you do. So again, in terms of belief as well, you know fully well, as we have said before as well, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Quran that these people, these Jewish people particularly, they were very knowledgeable people. They were not common people like Arabs. They were very knowledgeable people, and they recognized the Prophet ﷺ like they would recognize their own son in a crowd. They would recognize their own son, that they recognize the Prophet ﷺ like that. So you know everything, and everything has been very clear for you, but you still, neither do you believe your own selves, but also hinder the disbelievers and create crookedness, or create, you want to find, you want to create confusions in the minds of people. And one point that Mufassirin have written, that why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bringing that here in respect to the fight that occurred? One reason that Mufassirin have written is that this act of fighting or creating differences based on nationality is so severe in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is connecting it with finding crookedness or creating confusions in your very faith. So this is something that serious that it takes you there. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. O Ahl Kitab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not oblivious of what you do. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the mu'mineen. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu in tuti'u fariqan min alladhina utul kitaba yaruddukum ba'da imanikum kafirin. O you who believe, if you obey a group from those who have been given the book, the people of the book, in tuti'u fariqan min alladhina utul kitab yaruddukum, they will turn you on your, they'll make an about turn. Yaruddukum, rad is basically return. They will make you return 180 degrees. Ba'da imanikum kafirin. They will turn you, and they will turn you into infidels or kafirin after your iman, after your after you have embraced faith. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning them, the Muslims, that be very, very careful of these people. These people, if you follow them, you will turn away from Islam and go out of the fold of Islam if you start following them. Inshallah, the next ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is laying down the foundations of the unity of Muslims. We'll do that tomorrow, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, salatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursaleen. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك.